Hey friends, Christine here. Today's video is a simple kit tips tutorial on how to work with the elements in the Chinese New Year kit that I just put up. And in it you'll find a variety of images, each animal of the zodiac, of the Chinese zodiac, especially of course Year of the Dragon, which is what we're in this year, which is kind of exciting. It's always nice to have a sexy animal, you know, as opposed to, like, say, the rat, for example. I know it's my own bias, but anyway, so with this kit you can make lots of different cards, tags, and it just depends how you decide to trim the artwork. So you can see that you have lots of options here, and other parts of the artwork become pockets if you want. This you can use, you can make this whole little journaling spot just by folding it a certain way. Oh, there's a little rat. He's kind of cute. And I'll also show you how to make these handy little tassels, because they seemed perfect to me for decorating these Chinese inspired designs. So that's what we're doing. Let's get creating. The first tags, I want two separate tags with the floral background. So I'm going to simply score here. And then trim all the way around. And I would do this cut first, because after you trim the edges, those marks will not be here. So do this. Okay, so now we can just fold these down. There's one, there's two. So you can see I want to tidy up this cut. Again, my hands are not quite recovered. It'll be another, I don't know, 11 days before I get the big ass bandage off that goes all the way up my arm. These are good. This one could be a little trimmed up, but I'll do that after I glue. So now we just glue. And you can use really any glue. I mean, seriously, you could use glue stick. Sorry. But I'll just use this. And our snake. Okay, so here I'm going to trim up, just tidy up this edge, because all that white fleshy part's bothering me. Although I'll probably ink them anyway, because I tend to ink everything. Okay, so now we've got on the back one side and on the front the image. So what if instead we'd like to have one card with two animals? Well, that's also simple. So what we do then is we do this score first, and instead of cutting, we simply score. And if you don't want to score this, you don't have to. I'm going to, and then I can make a card out of this too. It'll be simply floral. So now I'm going to cut on all these edges. Okay, so now I've got these two pieces. And I can fold this because we scored that, so there should be a nice fold there. And now we've got the animals on each side. So if you only wanted to make 6 but still have all the Chinese Zodiac animals, this is the way you could do it. So there are two. I'm going to glue it up. Now this one I know I want to trim because I saw a little bit of white showing. I tell you, it's been a learning experience dealing with having one hand for 4 days or so. And it was not my dominant hand that's unavailable. That happens in April. Check in with me then, folks. I'm gonna be crazy. Okay, so you can see that white area I'm gonna trim. I'm going to trim. In case I decide to not ink the edges. All right, so now you can see, instead of having the floral part, we have the animals on each side. Then we could take this, which I have scored, but it doesn't matter, and we can make this into a pocket. So let's start by, I'm just going to fold. I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to fold just a little bit because I prefer my pockets to be pockety. So a little bit on each side, and then miter the edges because you don't want to see that when you make your pocket, and you don't want it to be all bunched up in the corners. Okay, so this will be our pocket, and then I'm going to fold this way as well. Again, just a little bit, just eyeball it. Make it reasonably straight, and then come and miter both of those to the corner. And now we can glue this into our journal. Have a cute little pocket there. Now I feel like it's a little bit tall because it's the same height as this, so I'm going to simply cut it down to about here. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, and then we're going to find the center, which is about here, and give it a nice thumb notch. All right, so now let's see where we want to put it in here. Oh, not on that page. That's kind of pretty simple. No, that's facing a pocket. Doesn't need to face a pocket. I think I like the first one. I don't remember where that was. So I kind of like that. That works. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue this in. Oh, I'm going to ink it. Okay, so now just a little glue on these edges. Okay. Let's just stick it right about there. Beautiful. All right, so we made a tassel. I'm going to use that, I think, on the dragon one because, you know, it is the year of the dragon. And I am going to round these corners, and I am going to ink them. No, let's round them first. So I'm going to use medium. And ink away. So you can see the versatility of this design gives you a few different options and allows you to use scraps that you might not use for pockets. So now I'm going to put a hole. I want it kind of in the middle. So I'm just kind of eyeballing. Where's the middle? It's about there. I'm going to put it about there. That's good. Okay, I'm going to take my little tassel, which I love. I'm going to just stick it through. And loop it through. And again, you could change the length of it. Like this might be a little long. Probably doesn't need to be that long, so we could knot it up here. Let's do that. Let's see, I'm going to knot it closer to the top. I mean, closer to the tassel. And it's just a regular old knot. And now I can put it in and it'll be closer. Off. through, and then do the little noose knot there, and have it closer to the card. Here we go. And we could even cut that further off. Perfect. All right, so now we've got the tag, and it can go in here with the other tags. So we have all the zodiac animals, and then we have two kinds of labels. We have lazy labels that are like this, that print out so that you don't have to fussy cut them. And then somewhere amidst all of this, I do have a cutout label. Ah, no, that's the black one. So this one was just cut out using the black side, and then there's another style that allows you to fussy cut, and I did, and it was really cute, and somewhere it has disappeared. So I'll come up with that later. But this is really easy. You just basically cut them out square and then use your corner rounder, and you still get the feeling of a nice little Asian label, but without all the fuss of fussy cutting it. So you can use it on here. Now you might put it on your pocket. You could put it on the tag itself. It can go in a number of places. Go on the back, anywhere you like. I'm not quite sure I'm going to put mine yet. There you have it. Very simple. Different tags that you can make with the Chinese Zodiac. And happy Chinese New Year. Okay, so you want to see how I make my little tassels. Here's my little happy tassel. Let me see if I can get it in focus. There we go. Cute, little, adorable, easy. The most important part. All right, so we have the fork. We do want a fork. I'm using embroidery floss of this type. You can use really any kind of thread you like. Thread itself works. It's a little, you have to use more of it, but it works just fine. So what I do, a lot of people lay a piece of thread in here to start, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Today I'm not going to. I'm just going to wrap regular old embroidery floss around my fork 30 times. Okay, so there we have it, 30 times. And I do try and end my threads on the same side. It's not that important. Put that off. So here you can see 30 times all the way around. Okay, that makes sense? Easy enough. So now we take a piece of thread. Now this is going to be our tail, so it's going to be what we attach the tassel with. So you want to make it a length that suits your project. And I just stick it through the needle because it makes my life easy. And now I'm going to hold this, and we're just going to stick it right through, well, maybe it's easier if you go this way, right through all these loops. Can you see that? And then pull. All right, so then we're going to pull the thread up toward the top of the fork. And this will be, again, the thing that holds everything in place. And we're going to even it out pretty much. You could take this off. We don't need that right now. And kind of make them even. And then you're going to tie a nice strong double knot. Right on the upper edge. Okay, so there we have that. Perfect and good. And then we're going to take another piece. I don't know, maybe 12 inches. It's probably more than you need. I always take too much. It's the kind of girl I am. Same thing. Put it through the needle. Pull. Now we're going to go in between the space between the top tine and the middle tine. Now I'm using a pretty narrow fork. You can use a wider fork. You'll get a bigger tassel. So what I like to do is come through here. As you can see, just come right up through that middle space and then go back through all of these loops again. Because if you don't, and if you just do a loop around all of these, you risk the possibility of this piece just coming off, that it could just come right off. So I like to go through on both sides, and then I go through on the other side. Same thing. Oh, we do want it to go in here. Oh, there goes my knife, my needle. But that's okay, I think we're almost done with it. Let me get your tail out of the way, and then pull down here like this, so now they are actually two separate things, but they cannot come off because they go under here. Okay, so I'm going to put the needle back on. Give me a second, just because with my hand situation it just makes life easier. So now, again, keeping the tail out of the way, now I just want to wrap it around both bunches. So we're not going through the center now, we are actually going around and pulling. Okay. And around. Oh, we don't want it to come off yet. And pulling. I keep getting it confused with the tail. And because I have no strength in my hand whatsoever, I have to go around again and pull. Now we just tie a knot. Okay, so then what I normally do, I normally don't lose my needle so often. Okay, and again, I like to go right through the center of that little gathering stitch and pick up a few threads. Technically, I could take this off now and then come back in. Again, just to ensure that it's not going to come undone. Now tie a knot. And a double knot. Okay. So now we have our tassel. It's cute and little. I'm going to get all these extra threads away. And you can see the loop here that we made around the fork, the bigger loop. We're going to stick the scissors right through it. Okay, does that make sense? Oh, I missed a couple. That's kind of important, although you can always come trim them later. There we go. All right, so now I have them all, and I'm just going to cut. Like so. Now we have our spare little pieces here from putting on the gathering thread. And I'm going to cut them off. Then my secret little weapon here is to take my little tassel and use a very special tool, my cat brush, to brush them out. And by doing this, it will unravel all of those threads, and it'll become a much finer tassel, and that's how I like it. And then once I've done that, you can see, then I'll come back in, gather it all back up, and cut off the fuzz that gets made when you do that. So now you can see an adorable little mini tassel that's light and airy with nice, delicate threads. Perfect. And now it can be added to the card.